1953. With love to Betsy, who said, "Maybe it's a new hat." Josie was a horse who belonged to Mr. O'Flaherty. Mr. O'Flaherty also had an old carriage, the kind people like to ride through the park in just for fun. Every morning, Mr. O'Flaherty led Josie out of the stable. He fed her some oats, he brushed her coat, he hitched her to the carriage. He said, "We'll go to the park and take some people for a ride." Josie walked to the park, stalk, stalk, very slowly, because she never felt like going fast. A line of carriages stood at the edge of the park. Some, like Mr. O'Flaherty's, had their tops folded down. Some had tops with fringe. Some looked gay with red wheels. Some looked gay with red ribbons. Tied to their whips. All the drivers, like Mr. O'Flaherty, looked fine in their high hats. Josie and Mr. O'Flaherty took their place in the line of carriages. When the people saw Josie come walking toward the park, stalk, stalk, very slowly, they did not want to ride with her. They wanted a horse who would go faster. The day before Easter, Josie woke up early, feeling hungrier than usual. Mr. O'Flaherty came into the stable. He got the oats bucket. He looked into the bin where he kept the oats. He sighed and shook his head. Then he brought Josie her breakfast. Josie was surprised to see only a handful of oats. She gobbled them up quickly. She said, "More, please." Mr. O'Flaherty said, "Josie, that's all we've got." Josie looked at Mr. O'Flaherty coldly. She said, "Why?" Mr. O'Flaherty said, "Because yesterday nobody took a ride in our carriage." Josie said, "Why?" Mr. O'Flaherty said, "Because you are so slow. But I hope someone will take a ride today. It's a lovely day, and the day before Easter, too." Josie said, "I'm hungry." Mr. O'Flaherty said, "So am I." Josie walked to the park. She hung her head way down because she was hungry. Stalk, stalk, stalk she went, even slower than usual. She was so slow that all the other carriages got there first. Josie and Mr. O'Flaherty just managed to squeeze in at the end of the line. Josie stood with her head hanging down. A man and a lady came along. The man said, "How much does it cost to take a ride?" "Only $5, said Mr. O'Flaherty eagerly. The man looked at Josie's head hanging down. He said, "Too much." Off went the man and the lady to ride in another carriage. People went by in cars. People went by on bicycles. People went by riding horses. People drove off in other carriages, but nobody wanted to ride with Josie. Her head hung lower and lower. Mr. O'Flaherty looked more and more worried. Lunchtime came. Josie looked around at Mr. O'Flaherty. Mr. O'Flaherty said, "Someone will surely take a ride soon." Josie said, "Shucks." She had never been so hungry in her life. She pawed the ground. She said loudly, "Somebody bring me my lunch." Then she gave up and hung her head so low her nose almost scraped the ground. People took one look at Josie and went along. It was afternoon. No one had ridden with Mr. O'Flaherty and Josie. A lady came walking by. She was wearing a lovely new Easter hat. It had a broad rim. It had red poppies and blue cornflowers and white daisies on it. Flip flop went the lady's hat in the breeze. Just then a strong gust of wind came along. The lady grabbed at her flip-flopping hat. Too late. Off blew the beautiful hat. Down the sidewalk it rolled. The lady ran after her hat. A man ran after the hat. A girl ran after the hat. A boy ran after the hat. An old gentleman with a cane ran after the hat. An old lady's little dog ran after the hat. The wind chased the hat along right to Josie's feet. Josie couldn't believe her eyes. She said, "Here is my lunch." She grabbed a red poppy in her teeth and began to chew it. Mr. O'Flaherty grabbed the hat. He tried to get it away from Josie. Mr. O'Flaherty pulled. Josie pulled. The lady took one look. "Well," she said, "that's the end of that hat. I guess I'll have to buy a new one." Off she went, leaving Josie and Mr. O'Flaherty to fight over the flowered hat. Josie was mad at Mr. O'Flaherty because he wouldn't let her eat the poppies. She tugged harder than ever. Then Mr. O'Flaherty said, "Let go, Josie. You've got a new Easter bonnet." Josie let go, and Mr. O'Flaherty clapped the hat on her head. Josie could feel the straw hat on her head. She said, "How do I look?" Mr. O'Flaherty said, "Fine, but let me cut some holes for your great big ears to stick through." He cut holes with his knife for her great big ears to stick through. Josie said, "Is my hat on right?" Mr. O'Flaherty took a look and said, "I'll tip it a wee bit more this way." Josie was so proud that she held her head way up high. She said, "Look at my new hat." A man and a lady came along. The lady said, "Look at the horse with the Easter bonnet." The man said, "How much does it cost to take a ride with the horse with the hat?" Mr. O'Flaherty started to say $5. Then he said $6 because of Josie's new hat. The man said, "Okay." Josie forgot she was hungry. She held her head up so everyone could see her beautiful new hat. She began to trot. Trot, 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 trot. Trot, trot, pranced Josie through the park, with her hat flip-flopping and the flowers dancing. The people cried, "Look at the horse with a hat on, prancing along. Let's take a ride in that carriage behind the horse with a hat." The dollars came rolling in. That night, Mr. O'Flaherty and Josie hurried back to the stable as fast as they could go. Mr. O'Flaherty unhitched Josie. He said, "I'll be right back." Back he came with a bag of oats, a bundle of hay, a bunch of carrots, and some big red apples. For himself, Mr. O'Flaherty brought corned beef and cabbage, frankfurters with mustard, fried pork chops, French fried potatoes, dill pickles, sugar buns, corn on the cob, a whole apple pie with cheese, and a dozen doughnuts. Josie and Mr. O'Flaherty both had the biggest and the best dinner they had ever eaten. At last they could eat no more. Mr. O'Flaherty took off Josie's beautiful Easter bonnet. Josie said, "Put it where I can see it." Mr. O'Flaherty hung the hat on a peg where Josie could admire the poppies and cornflowers and daisies. Josie said, "I wish tomorrow would hurry up so I can wear my Easter hat again." Mr. O'Flaherty said, "Josie, our worries are over." Then, for an extra surprise, he pulled 3 lumps of sugar out of his pocket, and Josie had them for dessert.